Hi, I'm Julia Stubbe, and I have a special guest today, is Anna. So Anna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Julia. My name is Anna Dobreva. We've been working together for a few months now. We were introduced, and I instantly connected to you when we first talked. Um, you offered to help me, and you came from such a genuine place. I really felt your beautiful energy and your genuine heart, and I felt instant connection to you and. Since we've met a few months ago, you've totally helped me transform my life in many different areas,
Wow,
including.
I'm like
Mhm,
overwhelmed with all that. It's like it's like thank
mhm.
you. So one of the things I just wanted to say, and it's like, is that I felt that connection too. And it's like there's just that divine connection. So it's like since you became a client, you've also become a friend. And I am really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for you to volunteer to come live in front of all these people. Hope there's a lot of people, um, to talk about what I do, because sometimes it's hard for me to explain what I do. So from your point of view, to give them that perspective, I am really grateful for you taking the time and doing this with me. So thank you, Anna.
No, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for letting me share my amazing experiences.
So where do you want to start? Because there's all kinds of things. We have personal sessions, there are transformation sessions, which we really dig into personal stuff. And then there's journeys. And what's a journey? It's where we multidimensional travel to different places. And you've been on a couple of those with me. And then we have the Couples Unified, which is a new um, modality that I offer. What else? What else do I do? Anything else?
No, that's amazing. If you want, we can start with the personal because that's how we started working together.
Okay.
And only with the first session, you helped me break through a lot of barriers, especially feeling that I couldn't be authentic. 100% at work with my spiritual skills and experiences, and you helped me break through that barrier. And I've been working on this for over 10 years, and it was really hard for me to be fully myself, especially working with corporations and bring my spirituality into it. So you really helped me go through different lifetimes and clear a lot of karma and a lot of things that were holding me back. And of course, everything comes from us. But when we have someone like you that can help us and guide us through getting there and really getting to the root cause of it and helping us release it, it's really powerful. And one thing that it's really resonated with me when I started working with you is that you come from a very pure place. And I've worked with a lot of healers, and it's really hard to find really good healers that come from that are of the light and that are genuine and really use their skills to come from such a unique pure place. And I'm so grateful to have met you. The other thing I look for is people that consider grounding as something very important. And I know in all your teaching and practices, grounding and clearing is so important to you. So we always ground together. And I love your apple flow. It's such a unique way of grounding. It normally to take me 5-10 minutes to clear and ground, and with the apple flow it's just instant. I'm grounded right away and I feel amazing. I feel all the energies. So it's I'm so blessed. And then the third thing is shielding. You always, because when we channel, uh, it's so important to channel beings of the light, and I know how important for you is to only channel pure light, pure energy, and only beings of the light. So those three things are so basic but so important for when I work with a healer. And you added something extra to it because I really loved when we first talked. We cleared all the karma between us. I have not experienced that before. Maybe other healers are doing that in their own way, but no one has verbalized it in such a profound way that let's clear something if there's anything between us, that it's on our way for having such a beautiful experience. And I really appreciated that very much. It really showed me how authentic you are, how amazing you are, and and then you also merged with me. So merging our hearts, it was such a beautiful experience.
Yeah, that was
I have no words to describe
that
it.
was the divine heart where, and I do this with my groups too. It's like we activate the divine heart, which is, you have your planetary heart chakra, and you have your galactic heart chakra, which is chakra 9, and your cosmic heart chakra is chakra 10, and you bring and you merge them together. So that becomes your divine heart. And within that divine heart are these different chambers. You have the chamber of the Akash, you have the chamber of your beliefs, there's a blueprint chamber. There's, on level 1, there's 10 different chambers that you can work with, and I work with them all the time. And when I'm guided, I always want to facilitate and activate someone's divine heart. And it might be different the way, people are taught with the different chakras and what they do. It's just the way it's been channeled to the group that I work with and how I go. But when I'm guided for someone who's at a level who's ready, is to really merge and gift all the information I have in my divine heart to that person, because I'm being guided to fully give that information. So it's like, and share that to empower you, because I really want to empower you to empower yourself to fly and blossom and bloom. And that's the way I feel about all my clients. Now, not all clients, I might not do that with all clients because they're just not at that point yet. They're not ready yet. So it's just how I'm guided, because I've done a lot of work. So I really have kept my channel clear for source, so that when I get the information, it's not all jumbled up with my stuff. Because when something pops up for me, a trigger or something that I need to work on, I honor it and I acknowledge it, because that's where I am at this point in my life. Is I always just want to be clear. I want to be light, and I just want to be in that purity, is like you said. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. It's such a beautiful experience to go through it. And I know we went through it a few times in the group classes and also in the personal sessions. And every time I experience it, it's tremendous. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, it takes a different level each time, because you've done the group transformation class. So how is it different than other groups that you've taken and done? How would you explain it to someone that is like, what is she doing? What I love about you.
Mm-hmm. What I love about you and your classes is that they're so simple and powerful. So it takes an hour once a week to do our class, but in that hour, it's so much magic in it. Because we do so many different exercises, so many different merging with beings, expanding our higher selves, expanding, and I just don't know how to explain it, but it's so powerful.
Yeah. So what we do is, it's called, what I call is building your spiritual infrastructure. So we really work on connecting with those higher levels of your higher self and all the levels within that of whatever you're ready for at that time. And then your Merkaba light bodies is merging and connecting with those. And then it's our team, which is like your ancestral team, and I call them power brokers. But I encourage, you and whoever my students are at that time, if they want to call it their star family, or however they want to, refer to them. They're open to different names. They don't have to be called power brokers, but that's just the way that it was channeled for me. And each time, like, I have other students who have taken the class a couple different times. It's a 5-week course, and they've done it. And each time they do it, it's a different and a deeper level. So it's like you can do that same infrastructure over and over again. And it opens your consciousness to a different level each time, wherever you're ready to go. And then the rest of it is organic. So it depends on what the group's looking for as to what shows up, because it's like, I have the structure stuff is what spirit has guided me that I've got to do. And then source takes over and says, well, we're going to do this. And I'm like, really? Are they ready for that? Okay, let's do that. And it's like, so I just trust that the information I'm getting, and it's always been right on. It's always been magical. It's magical for me as well as, for whoever the participants are.
Yeah, definitely. I loved our releasing exercises, because before we started with integrating all the higher dimensional portions of ourselves and experience aspects of ourselves, we did a lot of releasing and clearing, and that felt really amazing as a group to do it all together. And then we started expanding and oh my God, my head is spinning around.
Yeah, we're already
with so
like
much
there.
energy.
Yeah, there's so much there.
Yeah.
Let's go back and talk about the apple flow, because I actually have another video out on that, and it's working with your toroidal field. And what you can do with that is you can watch it or do it a couple times, and then the information's imprinted within you. So all you have to do is say, run my apple flow, and it's happening. And it's like, you go with the concept instead of the little steps. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's like, once your body knows how to do it, it's like, hang on, we're ready, let's go. So that's what I love about the simplicity of it, because if you're talking to your innate body and you're allowing your body to get that information, it can be super simple. It doesn't have to be complicated at all.
Yeah, and it's very helpful, because normally it would take me so much time to ground and to clear, and especially when I'm outside and I go to a store, or I go to meet with clients, or I show properties. It's just instant. It doesn't take me forever. It's just so quick, and it's a tremendous experience to just learn it and use it. And before we started the class, you asked for our intentions. And my intentions, one of my intention was to connect quickly to source, to clear myself quickly, to ground myself quickly, because sometimes it takes me half an hour to do all of that. And it's not that I don't have the time, but sometimes I get ungrounded and I want to do it quick so I can continue doing what I'm doing. And it's really amazing how we're able to clear so fast, ground so fast, connect to source, and to the unity consciousness. And those were my objectives. This is what I really wanted to learn. And we learned that in the first class in the first 10 minutes. So it was.
So I took care of you, like,
wow.
you didn't even, I took care of you the first day. That's like, and your intentions. That's cool. That's awesome. It's like, so there's just such beauty. And it's like, and I share information on how to do it, because it's like to me, and there's not always one specific way. It's what works for each individual, because it's based on their reality and their belief system. So like when somebody asks a question and they're not getting the answer, it's like, so I how many times can I answer a question different ways? Pretty many different ways, right? So everybody understands definitely. It. Yeah, but I love it. I just love being able to, like I said, empower other beings to empower themselves, because that's the magic of it. And it's like, I just truly have that divine love and want to be in that frequency always, of compassion and kindness and divine love. And that's where I really like to be. So you want to talk about journeys?
You come.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you come from such a pure place, and it can be felt every second of our sessions and our classes and all the work together. So it's just I'm so grateful for that experience. And the other unique thing about you is that you bring such complicated concepts and so strong like energies and unique techniques, and you simplify them and you make them so powerful, so easy to understand, and they work so fast. Because normally if I want to clear something or a past life or an issue, it would take me, I don't know, maybe half an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe multiple hours, maybe years. but with your techniques, with your teachings, it's just like we go into the past lives and we clear all of it at the same time. You just open my mind to so many possibilities and easier ways to clear, easier ways to heal, easier ways to be the best version of ourselves, and going into the different chambers, just learning about them has opened up so much of my mind, and has helped me with my experiences and helping myself develop more, helping my family and friends and people I work with. It's just I'm so grateful for all the knowledge you've shared.
Yeah, and when I tell you, it's like, because what we go into the chambers, and I say, because like you were worried about whether you were doing it the right way, and it's like, and I said, well, there is no wrong way. You know, you're in there, you're setting your intention. It's like you can see, know, or feel however the energy shows up. But I also say, like, you know, your imaginations are the seeds to reality. So if you can imagine it, you can create it. So I'm still learning. I work in the chambers all the time, and it's like, you know, in the chamber of the Akash, the chamber one of all possibilities, it's like, I just came across another one. It's like, I can time travel within a lifetime. And it was like, whoa, because it's like, that's what they showed me. That's what spirit showed me. And I'm like, wow, why didn't you show me this sooner? This is a lot of fun. So I share that information on how you do it, that how I do it, but how you get there is completely different, might be completely different, or you might use the same way. And it's just about really being in the flow and just trusting it and just having fun. I really think having fun and being in that vibration of joy, there's so much more magic that can happen, and not to take yourself so seriously. So like, you know, it's like I see, you know, it's like, wow, you're playing a victim in this one. It's like, okay, so we got all these daggers in your back, so we might want to pull those out. What do you think? You know, and not go into the drama of why they're there, but why can't we just release this without having to know the drama and moving forward? So, and then seeing what else shows up in the energy field that we can look at, because maybe those daggers were covering something up that, you know, we can look at now.
Yeah, definitely. And when we don't go into the story, it's just I think it's helping us to heal and transform faster in a way where we don't have to go into the issues, but we just release the energy. And I think it's tremendous, the results. And since the class and your teachings, it's just been amazing how everything has evolved to a point where it just takes me a minute or two to see a pattern, to see an issue, and to see the root, and to clear it from all the lifetimes. And it's just mind blowing how fast, and also clear beliefs install new beliefs.
Yeah.
It's working with the blueprints of the best version of ourselves, and it's just incredible. And then another issue I had in the past was that I was affected, because I'm an empath. I was affected by a lot of people around me, either over the phone or if I'm with people. And I was able to clear that over the years. So I would have strong aura and protect myself. But then I had issues with my family. So I would feel what they feel, and it was so hard for me, because I want to be in my power. I do not want to feel other people's feelings all the time. So for strangers, it was so much easier to disconnect and not feel it and protect. And but when it came down to my family, it was really hard. But after your class and all the magical work that we did, I did not. I was not affected anymore by my family. Whatever they were going through, I would just be the observer and not participate in, like, let's say, a drama or negativity, but more like observing and seeing what
like
they're
you're watching the movie, and you're not in the movie anymore. So you can just watch the movie and say, well, this is an interesting movie. Let's see how this plays out. And it doesn't mean you can be compassion without being detached, because you can have detached compassion for someone, but you don't have to as an empath, because that's, for me, I'm a high level empath as well. It's like about being able to be detached, having kindness and compassion for the situation, holding the space, but not letting it feed off you or feed into you. So that's really important. I'm really glad. That's nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And as far as the power brokers, it was an instant magical experience, because since we did that, anytime I do a healing or even just something quick for 5-10 minutes, I always see a huge group of angels that are there to help and support with anything that I do, whether it's healing, clearing, property clearing, anything that I do, they're always there. And it's a huge amount, like so many, like an army of angels. And it's fascinating to see them and how quickly things work, because they're there to help us.
Because they know what to do. It's like, you don't have to like tell them all the steps. It's like, okay, here's the situation, guys. Because you're higher aspects of me, you're my aunt, you're my relatives, it's like, how can you assist me here? But you need to ask them. That's the whole time, because it's like, if we can introduce you to them, but if you don't ask, they're like, oh, here we go, da da da, we're here, anybody see me, we're here. So they need to be asked, because they can't just jump in, because we still have that free will. Even though it is a higher aspect of us, we still want to always engage with those higher aspects of ourselves, because what that does is it says what we want, it sets our intention, and it gives us direction.
Yes.
Yeah. So who would you recommend to take the group transformation class? Like, where could it, what part of their journey should they be on, or just what do you think about that? What's your opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is, if people have already worked with energy, and people have understandings of past lives and karma, and want to go to the next level. People that have already done the clearing, the healing, removing of karma, but it takes forever. At least that's how I see it for myself, because there are different techniques that we can get things done, but your ways are just so powerful and efficient, and they just get it done. Because with some of the things that I've done in the past, I have to do it over and over again to clear something, because it was just sometimes would not click, or I have to spend 2 hours doing it. And I think people that are already doing healing and they want to go to the next level, this will be a great next level. It's not a next level. I think it's just going like up with a rocket ship, like fast.
So from a financial point of view, because like I have an early bird pricing of $177 for a 5-week program, and I limit it to 6 to 8 people. The regular price is, I believe it's $267 is the regular price, but the early pricing is until, a couple of weeks before the class stops. For that monies, compared to what you've done in the past with other groups, do you think that's a good deal? Or because you're not really paying for my time, because it's like I'm always doing all kinds of stuff, because you can't really afford my time. But for what you're getting out of it, what do you think is?
No, it's incredible. I think you're just serving the humanity and doing so much for us to help us go to the next level of consciousness. And I'm so grateful. And I think it's a great deal for anyone to take it, because this is kind of like getting a one session, but you're getting all these classes for 5 weeks. And it's not only the classes, but it's the energies, it's the connections, connecting to other souls and doing it together. It's just tremendous value, because you're teaching us what you're doing and how you're doing it and how to get there, how to do things easier and in a powerful way, coming from a pure divine place, and creating the best versions of ourselves, and continuing to create and together as a team, and being accountable to one another, because we always share in the groups. We always have some kind of a homework that we need to do, but it's so much fun to do it. So
Well, I'm
it's
glad to hear that.
tremendous value.
I'm glad to hear it's fun homework. And it's different for each group because it depends how source guides me. It's like, okay, this group, we need to do these release statements, or this group, it's like, okay, it's time to do I love you in the mirror look, or so it could be different for everybody. It just, who knows how it's going to show up. So if you want more information on the group transformation program, you want to check out my website, juliastubbe.com. And I have, as of now, I have one coming up the end of January 2021, but there's always one in the works. So if you listen to this video later, just check out the website for that. So is there anything else you want to add about the group before we move on to the next fun thing?
No, I think it's, yeah, I shared as much as I could, but there is so much more to share that we don't have the time.
Yeah, that's okay. So we also did some journeys, and and we'll just keep that short because it's like Carolee Schloth and I hosted a light journey, which was a 6-week program, and we went to all kinds of different places. And then I just recently did another journey with David Starr, and it was a multidimensional crystal journey. So that's the one we could just talk about that because that's your most recent one, and you experienced that as well. And then before I forget, I have 2 more coming up this month. December 12th is it's a blue star seeding journey, and what that's all about is we're going to go to the interdimensionally, multidimensionally, quantumly, to the blue stars, and we're going to get these seeding codes that are of these beautiful high vibrational, high energy, and we're going to bring them into these stars, soul star chakra, if not the upper chakras, and possibly our lower chakras. And so there's the ones in Orion, and there's the Pleiadian blue stars. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And that's on the 12th for the Stargate 1212 portal that's opening. And then on the 21st, 1221, if we're still all here, we're going to do the 5D Lemurian Codex journey. I'm doing that with Bonnie Bird, and we'll be working with the Pleiadians and the Lemurian energy on that. So we'll let Anna tell you about her experience with the multidimensional crystal journey. So maybe that you might be interested in taking a journey with me and in the future. What do you think?
It was really powerful. I received a lot of healing, a lot of upgrades, a lot of codes. It was, I was out of it at least 5 times because the energies were so strong. And I was integrating all of that for the next few days. It was a really powerful experience that you two created, and I'm extremely grateful for it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because the differences between David's energy and my energy are huge. And in that David's, how would you describe that? It's like, because I'm more covert, like under the radar, and really like that easy, but it's powerful. And he's like really amazing with what he's channeling. So you're getting 2 different experiences in one. And I got to sing, the crystals got to sing through me. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, I love that. That was beautiful.
Because there were several.
And then you channeled also some light language.
Yeah. And then, yeah, but when the crystals sang through me, it was like, they were like 3 or 4 of them singing through me at one time. It was wild. And for those of you who didn't get to attend that, if you go on my website, you can actually purchase to be able to listen to that journey and participate, because the energies, it's like there's no time or space, so you'll get the same energies and activations and clearings as if you would have been with us live. So that's pretty cool too. Yeah. Woo. I'm ready to like woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. And then you and your husband did Couples Unified. I think you did 2 sessions, two sessions
yes,
of Couple Unified. So what was your intention with that? And what was the experience besides the fact that I made you be in different rooms when you called in?
Yeah, we love that part. Yeah, our intention was to become closer on energetic level, to remove anything between us from past lives or anything that might have happened, so we can connect deeper in our hearts and can start working together, because we do have different practices, very different, and we wanted to combine them in a way where we can work with the same clients, and offer different services together as a couple. So as soon as we did our sessions with you, a lot of opportunities organically generated, to work with the same clients. Like he started referring people to me. And it happened so naturally, without pushing, pulling, convincing, advising, or anything like that. It just happened so naturally, and I felt connected to him like never before. And before, I could feel there was something in between us that I couldn't explain. But after we finished the sessions, all that was gone, and we were just pure connection. And it's just amazing. There's so many things we cannot explain, but when we go through the sessions, and so you're so easy to work with, because you meet people where they're at. So because me and my husband, we have different understandings of how energy works, and it's amazing how you walked him through the ways you work, and you met him the way that he was ready to receive it. And it was just amazing
Wow.
to experience that, because when we work together, it's just a little different. So he asks a lot of questions, he wants to know a lot of things, and you met him where he was at in a different way, because we're all the same, but we're all unique. And it's just amazing how you can talk to each couple and help them see things. And you pointed out things that we didn't even think about. And it's not only getting to the point of unifying ourselves, but we had to clear myself first. So we did some clearing for me, then you did some clearing for him, and then we combined to get to our goal. But it was the journey, not so much the end goal, but how we got there to unify, to experience that connection together. So it was, you brought up so many things that they were just kind of under the rug that I didn't even think about, and we went deep and cleared them. And then the same for him, and we were just amazed, because we do a lot of work on ourselves. He does work on me, I do work on him, but it's so profound to have someone like you to facilitate this kind of healing, and go deep and deep and deep, and really point out the things that really need to be cleared. So we had a lot of fun going from the one chamber to another chamber to another chamber, and you just discovered a lot of things for us that
Well,
were mind-blowing.
actually, it's like maybe I discovered, but it's like source, because I was connected to your source and his source. That information came through, and I got to be able to share it with you. So it's like you had that knowledge all along, but like you said, it was under the rug. And it's like source said, tell them this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And we would just go with that. And like I said, and I do like to make it fun. I don't like to take it too serious. The reason I told Anna and her husband to be in separate rooms is because if you're in a past life and for some reason, one of you stabbed each other in the back or chopped off, their hand with an axe or something, you don't want to give dirty looks to each other and then distract it from the energy. But most of the time, what we're really actually working with is not the circumstance. We actually work with the energy of the lifetimes first. And we might have, like where you shared the lifetimes together, maybe say like 120 lifetimes. And then we clear through those lifetimes till we get down to a couple core lifetimes. And in those instances, we may look at specifics of the story to be able to bring education and understanding in. So it's fun. And then what we do is the flip side of that is we access all the lifetimes where you created things together and you created joy together. And we awaken your DNA that's been dormant and sleeping so that you can do that easily. And that sounds like what happened easily in this lifetime. So that's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. It's not only clearing and healing and clearing, but it's also activating lifetimes and activating parts of our DNA where we've already done this. So why we cannot do it again, and we can do it with ease. So this is kind of my favorite part, where we activate those parts of the DNA. It's just such a beautiful experience. And then once we're done with that, it just felt so natural. It's just, oh my God, I've had this like all my life. Like, what was I thinking? So everything feels very natural, even though it's so powerful. We go through a lot for such a short period of time, and then the change is tremendous. But it's like huge change, but in a very organic way, where it's not like shaking you and like, oh my God, where I am, but it's gentle.
I always set the intention that it's always done with grace and ease, and that our foundation is, that we solidify our foundation with divine trust. So with all the changes and the shifts, that we can be in divine trust and divine flow, or be divine trust and be divine flow, so that it does make it easier. Because sometimes when you go in and you're a bulldozer and it's like, you just want to like move stuff, and it's like, you're just doing it just to do it, and you're not really conscientious of how you're doing it, then that can really disrupt your foundation. And it can and I've done that a couple times, because it's like, I was an overachiever at certain points in my life, like, I want to do all this now. And it's like, then I'd end up flat on my back for 5 days or 6 days or maybe longer. So I figured out, oh, I asked for this. Awesome. Okay, can we back up? And can I have some grace and ease here? And it's like, I'll take it in little steps now. I don't need it all at one time. Let's let it unfold, as you said, organically, and let it flow. So from learning from my journey is how I facilitate for others, because I want things to be simple and easy and joyful and fun. I don't want it to feel like it's so much work and it's so heavy. It doesn't mean we won't get into heavy stuff, but it doesn't have to stay that way. It's about the concept as far as the idea of the whole thing. So we don't have to know all the little pieces of how it's working. We just have to trust that in the concept. So.
And it's amazing, because normally when I get like sessions from healers, we'll go into the story, then we'll go into the drama, but with you, it's like the feeling is there and the feeling is gone. Like and I'm like, oh my God, like, where did that go? Like, I was feeling sadness for a second, and then it just went away in a second. So it's just amazing.
The way I look at it is like, a lot of people want to know their starting over. A lot of people want to know their past life, and they want to know the story. But that is, to me, 90% of the time, that's a distraction, because the story, if you keep going over the story, you keep repeating the energy and holding the energy. So what you want to do is really be able to release the energy, as far as that goes, and clear it. And when we work with, like when I worked with you and we cleared our past lives together, it's the same thing with partners or family members or any other interpersonal relationships. We connect with the lifetimes you shared together, but sometimes we have to go to a lifetime where you didn't share together, where maybe you had that energy and that energy's interfering with your relationship now. It just depends on where source guides me, because when I do a session, whether it's couples unified or it's a personal session, I have no idea or no preconceived notion of where we're going, because I surrender to source and let source utilize me to guide us through the journey. And I also don't have any attachment to the outcome, which gives all kinds of possibilities, because if I think it needs to turn out a certain way, then I'm limiting the possibilities, and I'm taking away your power, because this is all about you, the client, and what the possibilities are there.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing experience. And if you let me share about one of my favorite sessions.
You can share anything here. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah. It's like, because to me, it's your session to do with what you want. So it's like, if you want to share about it, I'm just going to sit here and listen.
So one of my favorite sessions was when I was pregnant and I was going to give birth in a few days, and we had a session together, and you helped me connect with my baby, and we met at a bridge, and I was able to talk to my baby so I can have a smooth and easy delivery, because I was doing it with no drugs and no epidural, none of that. And I wanted to connect with the baby so we can have the best experience together. And it's my first kid, so I had no idea what to expect. So it really helped me talk to her, connect with her. We exchanged messages, and it really filled my heart with a lot of love, and it helped me remove a lot of fear. And then I've been doing so much. I was doing a lot of clearing on myself with the fear of dying, because I thought, like, if I give birth, I'm going to die, and I didn't know where that was coming from. So I took your teachings, and I started exploring different angles, all the times that I died as a mother, the baby died, and all of that, and I cleared all of that, but I still had that strong feeling. So when I talked to you, you said, how about you being a doula? You were a doula in all these lifetimes. And I didn't even think of that, and it didn't appear to me. So when you clear all of that, it really helped me release the fear. I had no fear. I had zero fear. I didn't know where it went. It's like all of a sudden it was gone, and it was overwhelming. It was so strong. And then in that session, I wanted to create this like special space. So when I give birth and I have a lot of pain, because I'm a person that cannot stand a little pain, let alone a lot of pain, I wanted to create a special place where I can go. And when I have the pain, I can just go in that place. And then at that moment, we traveled to this amazing planet, and it was such a profound experience. We went to a birding pool, and those goddesses greeted us, and they were showing me that I can have a easy birth, and they showed me what I needed to do, and also they infused me with so many different energies. The water had so many different energies that took care of like fear and pain and anything that I needed to kind of clear and adjust. They just did it in such an easy and pleasant way. So when I had my contractions and before I gave birth, it was so hard, because at first I didn't know what to expect. Then the doctors they wanted to give me all these pills all the time, and all this like epidural and all kinds of stuff, convincing me that I cannot do it. So it not only that I needed personal will and my husband next to me, but because you gave me that special place where I could go. So I would, every time I have a contraction, I would go to that special place, and the goddesses will be there and they will help me. So they would reduce my pain from like, if the pain is 0 to 10, I think I experienced like a pain of 11. So they would reduce it to maybe 9, 8. When I tune into them. If I don't tune into them, then the pain would still be at 11. So I thought I wouldn't be able to survive this pain, and I thought it would never go away. But it was such a beautiful experience to know that I have a place to go, and when I go, that they will take care of me. And but it's just believing in it and seeing it and experiencing it. But because of your beautiful healing sessions, and you were there for us also during the boarding period. Yeah, I think I got all the support and more. But and then we were able to talk to my daughter before she was born, and she said, "You just give me she wanted to be so funny, and she wanted to give me courage to just go through it. So she said, you just give me a safe place and I'll slide right out. Don't worry about it. I've done this so many times before. Don't worry about it." And that's true, because when it came to that point, the doctors came in and they said, "Oh, it will take you 3-4 hours to push." And I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. I have no energy. I cannot see myself doing this for 4 more hours, because it was already close to 24 hours of labor, and I couldn't see myself doing 4 more hours. But she slid right in half an hour, and they were amazed. They were just amazed. But when we do things energetically, we can bring them into the physical world and go through it with, like, with ease and grace, like you're saying. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to struggle. We can just do things differently, and it's just such an amazing experience. And thank you for all you do for us.
Oh, well, thank you for trusting in me and believing in me. And I'm just grateful as well, because it's like to hear that, because I didn't hear the whole, your whole birthing thing. I didn't know how it all turned out. I just know that she was there, and it's like, you guys looked really happy, and I was like, cool, great, you know. And I was I was like, but she would communicate to me to tell you stuff too. I would still remember, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's so bossy. It's like, so I would text you, it's like, just letting you know, she's telling me to tell you this. I'm like, I don't know why, but here you go. Here's the message. And I want to talk about that bridge, because I take a lot of people up to that bridge. That's one of my gifts, is to be able to really connect with other beings, whether they've passed over or they're actually current in this lifetime. Spirit's given me that gift to take you there, to be able to, even to your future self, to really connect. So I see a lot of magic on the bridge. And once the bridge is open, unless we close it, because sometimes we want to close it. We don't want, you know, we just had this conversation like with somebody that we just had a heal, but we don't need them coming through anymore. But like with your daughter, we left the door open so that you could connect with it, and only your daughter comes through that door. It's just for her vibration and her frequency and her codes. But you can connect with your future self through the bridge, or you can connect with somebody else's highest of higher self that you're trying to communicate with, and maybe you don't know how to talk to them on a 3D level, because everything you talk to them at that higher level in their higher consciousness goes down to their lower level, and when they're ready, they'll listen, they'll hear it. So I love the bridge. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah, and it's beautiful because I'm able to connect with her when I want to ask her questions, what her needs are, how can I support her, what can I do for her. And she cannot talk yet. She's only 2 months, and it's so much easier to communicate with her when the bridge is open.
Oh, so you're still using it. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So anyway, I think we've said enough about me and you. So I want to thank everybody for listening in. And if you're interested in my services, the service I have to offer, check out my website, juliastubbe.com. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, because I'm always available to answer any questions. And Anna, thank you so much for sharing your stories for others. And I'm really, really grateful to have you as part of my life and to be in my life. And I don't know what else to say.
Thank you so much. I can talk about you for hours, because you've brought so much love and clarity, and it helped us connect deeper with my husband, with my daughters, and with everyone in such a deeper level. And I'm so grateful for you. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thanks again. All right. And if you're listening to this on YouTube and you really like this and enjoyed it, please hit a like, because I always appreciate the likes. And if you want to, get notified when other videos are available, hit the subscribe button, because I'm always looking and appreciate subscribers too. All right. Much love to all. And thanks again for tuning in. Bye.